Success is simple. Do what is right in the right way at the right time. Good morning, respected teachers and my dear friends. My name is Nitish Kumar. Don't get confused with CM of Bihar. I am just Nitish Kumar of Epic.
In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. Good morning all of you. My name is Yashodhara Joshi.
Always be yourself, express yourself, have faith in yourself, and do not go out and look for a successful personality and duplicate it. Good morning everyone, my name is Vikas.
Don't aim for the success. If you want it, just do what you love, what you believe in. Success will come naturally. Good morning all, my name is Seta.
Coming together is the beginning, keeping together is the progress, and working together is a success. Good morning everyone, I am Tanmay Varma. जिसका काम उसी को साजे और करे तो धंधा बाजे.
Good morning friend, respected sir and ma'am. My name is Satyavrat Sahu and I am representing the future group of FB1. You can anticipate what our topic should be. Our topic is do that work in which you have depth. You know what to do, how to do and for whom to do. Otherwise, simply doing a work in blank may lead to a failure. My dear friends, before going deeply into the subject, let me tell you a short story about an eminent personality of world. He was born in a poor family. His father was a fruit seller. In his childhood, even electricity was not there in his home. He was used to read under the streetlights in the evening. So he had determined that he will do something for Indian economy in his future, and he has done that. He has done his graduation and masters in economics from Punjab University. After arranging a scholarship, he was able to go for his PhD to Cambridge University. After that, he has joined as an assistant professor in economics, and he was a successful one in that sector. He has served in different universities like Oxford University, Delhi University, etc. After that, he has joined in civil services, and he has served in different sectors like Governor, Reserve Bank of India, Deputy Chairman, Planning Commission, Chairman, UGC, etc. After that, in 1991, he was selected as the Finance Minister of India. At that time, Indian economy was in huge crisis. In India, the fiscal deficit was huge. It was up to 8.5% of the GDP at that time. Current deficit was about 3.5% of the GDP, and India was just at the doorstep of bankruptcy. At that time, it took several steps that we can call it bold steps, and to attack this and to rebuild the Indian economy, he had opened up the Indian economy. He had shifted the Indian economy from socialistic to capitalistic point of view. I am telling it so easily, but actually at that time it was not easy, because the opponents, various personalities of India, they were opposing that. But he did not listen to anyone, and successfully he was able to face that problem, and he rebuilt Indian economy. He is none other than Dr. Manmohan Singh, a successful finance minister, and who is called as the father of modern Indian reform. Next, go to the second part of his life. In 2004, in a dramatic situation, when Sonia Gandhi had refused to take the post of Prime Minister, at that time he was selected, again I am telling, he was selected as the Prime Minister of India. Not because that he was a great economist, but the only cause for that he was, and he is also till now, loyal to Gandhi family. He simply in the second step, that is the dark thing in his career, he is considered as the most unsuccessful Prime Minister since since independence. I am not telling that. You all have listened that from our Honorable Dean Professor Anindam Chaudhary sir. And various times he is telling that, and all others are also telling that. I am just giving some facts. He, according to Chaudhary sir, he is a corruption-free man, corruption-free king, sitting on the hill of corruptions. We all have listened there. And during his time, I think every parliament session starts with a big corruption. I think the corruptions are fighting against themselves that which one should be best, which one should be more. First, CWG, 8,000 crore rupees. Then 2G, 1,60,000 crore rupees. Sorry, 1,76,000 crore rupees. Then Colgate, 1,86,000 crore rupees. Then note for vote scam. Then yesterday also one scam was there. CBI had raided the nephew of Honorable Railway Minister Pawan Bansal for taking bribe of 90 lakhs. This is bureaucratic government and this is the Prime Minister of ours. I don't blame him, but he is unsuccessful. Such a educated man who is successful in one career and unsuccessful in another one. Why this happens? I think this happens because he is successful in finance, his core subject is finance, he well know economy, Indian economy, and he is a good economist, so he is a successful. He is not good in management, so he can't able to manage at the post of Prime Minister. He has to manage, he is simply not able to do that. He is simply unable to address the country during crisis. You can take the example of Delhi rape case. If we will compare him with Barack Obama, then there is a hell and heaven difference. We can't compare as a leader of the nation. So, the main cause for this is, again I am telling you one thing, जिसका काम उसी को साजे और करे तो दंड होगा. Next, go into the subject matter. What is technocracy? Technocracy is that form of government in which the technology non-people, the technology boosted people, they participate in law-making processes like doctors, engineers, scientists, etc. If we will lengthen the definition, then we will find that, in our conclusion, we will find that the people who are working, who knows that sector, they should participate in that sector. They should participate at the law-making process of that sector. That means, one doctor should be the health minister of India, one good professor should be the higher education minister of India, but in India we can get anyone. No, there is nothing to, no barrier is there. And one sports personality should be the sports minister of India. I think so. Then if the technologists, the technocrats, they are doing such a good thing for India, for our world. So in India, let's see what is the position of them in the social hierarchy. Let's see that. All the first class students, their parents and the students, they want to be a doctor, an engineer and scientist. A very good thing, because they become the technocrats. And we are very lucky that we are getting such good people as our technocrats. Let's go to the second part. The people like me, throughout the career second class, we become MBS and we control the technocrats. You can think what my ability is to control Mr. Nitish, who has done successfully in his graduation in IT sector. If I will be posted as the manager of him, you can think that. All the third class people, they became the politicians and they are the law-making processes. They are making the laws in India. I am just giving the picture of Lalu Prasad Yadav. He is highly educated. I am not going through that. I am giving this picture because Lalu ji is the mirror of Indian politics. We can't think Indian politics, the history of Indian politics without Lalu. And his wife, we simply illiterate. If we will go to the fourth part of that, then the people who became failed in their institutional career, they become Lalu ji. And they control all the politicians. You can see it. And the people who had not ever gone to school, any school, they became, you can see that. Social hierarchy, the Babas are controlling the Dadas are controlling the politicians are making the rules, the MPs are implementing the rules, and the Bechara technocrats are just doing the work as a simple worker. So if we will not change the hierarchy, we can think about Vision 2020. We should think about Vision 3030 or 4040. I don't know whether we will be successful on that or not. This is from my side. I think Tanmay will continue. Thank you.
Before I start, I would like to share something. When I was coming to the college today, someone asking me, Are you from IIPM? I replied, yes, I am from IIPM. Again, he asked, can you speak in English? After a little bit of thinking, I replied, I can speak in English, I can walk English, I can eat English, and I can vomit English. Because English is a funny language. If English is a funny language, then all bureaucrats are the funny man. But what is the relation, the bureaucrats and the funny language English? I am explaining. The bureaucrat does not know how to work. They always ask what is the work pitch. They does not generate any innovation idea. They always support to the technocrats or the people. They control the people by their voice, by their communication skill. So you know, in corporate world, there is only one language, that is English language. If you have the ability, so you can do the work. If you have the ability plus the related skill, then you are the mastermind. You can do everything. But I have the ability, I can do the work. Somebody have the ability and the related skill, but by default they shifted to the different sector, and this sector they are working and the utilizing the previous related skill. That just because of fun. That's why I am saying that if the English is a funny language, then the bureaucrats are the fun man.
Whereas Mr. Vinod Roy, who is a technocrat, who is the cat of India, hit the headline has consistently hit the headline for his unforgiving audits, ranging from the scathing report on the shady preparation of Commonwealth Game to the latest on 2G spectrum frequency allocation for mobile companies. Bureaucratic grapevine suggests that there was quite a bit of pressure on Mr. Roy to dilute the 2G scam, but he held on. Thus, in conclusion, I want to say that on one side, we have a bureaucrat who is the main accused for 2G scam, and on the other side, Mr. Vinod Roy, who highlight not only the 2G scam, but also Commonwealth scam, Colgate and Narega, and recently my friend Satyabrat told today's scam. And so in all, I want to share that we need decision makers during the time of crisis or disaster. We need decision maker, and technocrats are obviously a good decision maker. I will wrap up my speech with the last sentence that in any field, decision makers should be selected on the basis of how skillful, how knowledgeable they are in their respective field. This is from my side. Thank you. I would like to call for Mr. Vikas to conduct the speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarita. Hello, everyone. Like my team member Sarita spoke about the crisis and the role of the technocrat during that venture. Now I will try to put my views on my subtopic, different countries who adopt technocracy. Technocrats countries like China, United States, Europe, Russia. Let us start the discussion with China. They have done technocracy movement from 80s. To add on to this, in China, 8 of the top 9 government officials from the last Politburo Standing Committee are engineers. In 1978, the GDP of China was 2,16,462 US dollar, and in 2012 it raised up to 82,26,885 US dollar. Inclusion of engineer and planner to decision-making bodies has led China growth up to 3,800% in the last 34 years. let us have a look at the graph. You will clearly depicted that from 80s, in the last 34 years, the GDP, India increased his growth 1300%, and China increased his growth 3800%. As shown in the figure, before 80s, China is later growth, but after 80s, it steady and rapid growth. As for China is concerned, there are highest number of infrastructure projects running in China, which can lead to economical growth, better living, forest investment, and agriculture growth. Let us have a look at the USA. The USA included among the superpower. As kind of early bird, the GDP per capita of USA is $15,000, which is one of the highest in the world. The technocracy movement in USA was started in 1930s. In 1929, the Wall Street crash ensuing the Great Depression led to government effort to restart the economy and help it sustain. The recovery, however, was very slow. In 1930s, to manage their economy, they replaced their politician leader and businessman with their scientists and engineers, because they have the expertise skill to manage their economy. And after doing so, the GDP of USA is also increased. After USA, Europe taking lesson. After USA, now let us look at Europe. Taking lesson from USA, Europe also adopt technocracy movement. Germany also adopt technocracy movement based on American model 1940s. After Germany, Russia also adopt technocracy movement, which is called as technology, which is similar to technocracy. Now, I am asking one question to all of you. If China can improve itself by adopting technocracy, why not India? How many days the bureaucrats, the politician leader will continue corrupt and India will be in poverty? I am requesting to Yashodhara Joshi continue further. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vikas. I am going to tell you about some example from Indian perspective, like corporate world, sports world, and business sector. In India, if we will famous on successful technocrats, then the first name is come in our mind is none other than Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He is a scientist, aerospace engineer, professor, author. He is a very famous personality in both science, technology, and politics sector. He is a very famous president of India, who is commonly known as People President. He is the missile man of India for his work on the development of ballistic missile and launch vehicle technology. So I think he is a good example of technocrats. So who is famous for his vision 2020? And next example is Narayan Murthy. Narayan Murthy is an Indian businessman and co-founder of Infosys in 1981 and served as CEO from 1981 to 2002. He started from Infosys 100 rupees and today profit have reached up to 1.72 billion. The success of story Infosys in these days. The success Infosys was only because of Narayan Murthy, who is a technocrat, because he graduated graduated with in degree in electrical engineering and master have in IIT Kanpur. He is the best Infosys development and he is core completely in this sector. And now next example is Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar, he will known as a god of cricket. He is successful in all formats of cricket. So his core background and interest in cricket, he should serve in that. And now he is also member of parliament. But we can all see after that recent Delhi child rape case happened about that a very important discussion in parliament. But at that time Sachin was absent because busy in IPL, because his prime interest in IPL and cricket. So we are not asking about your ability in Sachin Tendulkar in politics, but our view is he should serve in cricket. Indian cricket needs him, and a good politician should replace him and serve. Sachin Tendulkar, a successful technocrat in cricket and unsuccessful leader as a leader bureaucrats. And now next example is Sushil Kumar Shinde. He has simply seen that unfit for his present post on Home Minister of India. His decreasing personality is simply giving nonsense statement like Hindu terrorism. And during this time, ladies in Delhi feeling are unsafe. A new controversy came that an important discussion, Delhi child rape case, happened out there. A very important discussion in parliament by a lady MP. Instead of feeling guilty, he was laughing. So I think Sushil Kumar Shinde should be replaced by technocrats like Kiran Bedi, B.K. Singh, and then other than definitely do better than Sushil Kumar Shinde. And I'm asking about some question. Who should be the next Prime Minister of India?
Narendra Modi.
Definitely. Narendra Modi, who well known as the concept of vibrant Gujarat. He is first choice of Indian executive marks development and Prime Minister candidate. He is technocrat. Why is he technocrat? Because his master in his political science. Because he is a technocrat, he is successful in politics. So don't you think technocrats are successful and bureaucrats are unsuccessful? Because जिसका काम उसी को साजे और करे तो डंडाबाजी. Thank you and next speaker.
Thank you, Shubhra. Are you guys expecting Nitish Kumar, Chief Minister of Bihar? No. I told you earlier that I am not Chief Minister. Okay. So now I am going to tell you about the current scenario of India. According to a survey done by PERC, Hong Kong, it states that Indian bureaucracy is worst among Asian countries. They had given it a rating of 9.21 out of 10. It shows the worstness and inefficiency of bureaucrats in India. Now, these inefficient bureaucrats will lead to a very complex and rigid system in Indian economic system. And because of it, it is very difficult for business people to do business in India. As you all saw in the case of FDI. Do you know when and from by whom FDI was first tried to enter in Indian market? Anybody? Do you know by whom and when FDI tries to enter in Indian market?
1992.
Yeah, by BJP.
BJP was the one who introduced, who tried to introduce FDI in Indian market. But at that time, Congress was in opposition and they opposes it. But now the time changed. When Congress come into power, they tried to implement FDI. And now, this time BJP are in opposition and they try to oppose it. Why? This shows the bureaucratic thinking, right? This bureaucrat know only one thing, just to pull the legs of others, not more than that. And this thing shows that. So this was the complex system. This complex system also lead in corruption because they gives them immense power. Because we can't challenge bureaucrats for their wrong decision, and this gives them immense power. And because of that, they even not get fear to take money from under the table. So this is how bureaucrats get failed in their paper. But this is not true for whole Indian economic system. This is only the half part of the Indian economic system. Other half consists of technocratic system also, because of which people are saying that India will become superpower in next 10 to 15 years. So where are the in system where technocratic movements are going on? I will take some examples. Like we all know about the DMRC project. Because of DMRC project, metro becomes the lifeline of Delhi. And this success of DMRC project is only because of one person, that is East Ridhan. East Ridhan is a civil engineer and served so many years in railways of India, Konkan Railways. So the success behind the DMRC project is only this person who is a technocrat. Now the next example of technocratic movement, that is the UID project. Again, this project is headed by a technocrat, that is Nandan Nilekani. And we all know that UID project is a project by which every citizens of India will get a unique identification number through Aadhaar card. So this project is also running on fast track. Up till now, around 27% of Indian citizens are already get registered to this project. So till now, we saw that how bureaucrats get help in their field and how technocrats get success in their field. But after this, the first question which comes in our mind, that how bureaucrats should be replaced by technocrats. Is it possible to replace them in flash? No, definitely not. Because in current situation, bureaucrats are holding very important, very respectful and very powerful position in Indian economic system. To replace them, we need some strategy, we need some step-by-step process. So we, the future group, try to suggest two solutions for this. First one is through by stopping migration. As you can see in the diagram picture, that around 90 to 95% among migrant people, around 90 to 95% are either doctors, engineers, scientists, or other some technocratic person. And because they leave our country, so our country is only consists of bureaucrats and they occupy the important position. If we stop migration, then definitely these technocrats will hold the position of hold the important position of Indian economy. But the question is, why migrants leave our country? Why people leave our country? Why this migration happens? Because they don't get the equal opportunity according to their qualification or eligibility. That's why they leave. If we provide ample amount of opportunity according to their qualification and eligibility, they will definitely remain in our country and serve our country. So by this way, definitely bureaucrats will be replaced by technocrats. Now, the other way is through privatization. Now, before I explain how privatization will replace bureaucrats, I want to share one of my experience with you. Few months ago, I went to a public high school. There I saw that only few students were there to teach the students. So every teacher had to teach around 2 to 3 subjects in one day. And they have to teach those subjects about which they don't know anything. So they try to avoid that period or just go and sleep there. This shows the bureaucratic working in our Indian, or rather said in public high school. So if privatization comes, then then definitely this will not happen, because we all know that private companies always hire ample amount of employees. So the problem of having less teachers or employees will be resolved. Now, the other problem is that through privatization, the employee will get fear of getting fired if they don't work. So, I think privatization and stopping migration will definitely replace the bureaucrats by technocrats. So that's all from my side. But before leaving the stage, I want you to ask one question. Don't you think that former cricketer Kapil Dev or Sunil Gavaskar should replace Sharad Pawar from BCCI president? Don't you think that former hockey captain Dilip Dipke should replace KPS Gill? Because my friend, जिसका काम उसी को साजे और करे तो नहीं.
So the technocrats should replace the bureaucrats. We must think one thing, that if that is true, then why the peoples are opposing the technocrats? There are two types of people who normally opposes the technocrats. They are the people who know that they can't manage. Second type of people, the people who can manage the work which they don't know. But for our development, we want both the things from one people. He can do the work and he can manage the work. My friends have taken the class out of India to China to US. Let's come inside IIPM. What is the view of IIPM about this subject? You can see that we have conducted we have conducted different type of surveys, like you can see there, and our result is approximately 76% of IIPM they are in favor of us, thank God, and 24% are against us. So my dear friends, who are coming next to support bureaucrats, they will not get the support of IIPM. Next, we have used so many cartoons of some eminent personality of the world. So if it hurts anybody, please excuse us. Thank God, thanks Ishan sir, that you are conducting NEP presentation in IITM Delhi, not in IITM Kolkata. Our next meeting might be in Kolkata jail.
जिसका काम उसी को साजे और करे तो डंडा बाजे. Thank you.